Okay, y'all, my guest is here again today, and he's maybe feeling a little bit better because he's being a little goofy this morning, or maybe you took pain pills. I don't know.
No, I'm pain pill free the last 3 days,
just
I
kidding.
think. So, but hey, good to see everybody again. Feel a little bit better, a little sore today. My first day out, and after a couple of weeks, it was yesterday, so I am a little bit doing a little bit better every day.
Thank goodness.
Okay, it's your deal this week.
Oh.
I'm just the guest.
He's just the guest.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we've been going over the full armor of God. We have this I showed y'all this earlier. Talk about the truth about the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of peace, shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. So we've gone over each one of those, not always in depth, because I didn't have it all together on Monday or Tuesday, really. But anyways, so I'm going to read through, starting at verse 13. Use every piece of God's armor, resist the enemy in the time of evil, so that after the battle you will still be standing firm. And we talked about that kind of in depth on Monday, about how we need to be standing firm after the battle. We have to have all of those things in place so we will be standing firm. If we just put on our helmet of salvation, we're not going to be standing firm, because we're going to let all the tricks and the strategies and all of that affect us. So we have to have all pieces.
Right.
Stand your ground, putting on the sturdy belt of truth and the body armor of God's righteousness. For shoes, put on peace that comes from the good news, so that you will be fully prepared in every battle. You will need faith as your shield to stop the fiery arrows aimed at you by Satan. Put on salvation as your helmet, and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Pray at all times on every occasion in the power of the Holy Spirit. Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all Christians everywhere. Stay alert. That's really what it boils down to, is that we are staying alert. We are paying attention. We are seeing what's coming up against us, and we are ready to fight that battle. When we get blindsided by something, it's because we got complacent. We got comfortable.
Went to sleep.
We got,
lukewarm.
Yeah, we're in our little box, and we're happy in our little box, and God's trying to move us out of our little box, and we just stay in there, and then we fall apart because we didn't stay alert to what He's trying to tell us to do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things happening in our world right now that people's unaware of. Mm-hmm. In the physical world that we live in, from bank issues, financial issues, and we've got a government now, and I'm not just blaming because of Joe Biden, but a government that's out of control in its spending, has been for a long time. There's a lot of stuff. I saw the other day where China brokered a peace deal between the Saudis and the Iranians, and that's a Shiite-Sunni deal that they hate each other because of that. And that's coming. You're seeing a lot of big players on the world stage come together now that's going to come against America and against Israel proper and things like that. We need to be paying attention to that, but the real battle's not that, because we can fight those battles. We've got a great military still. We still got a lot of sophisticated stuff, but it's the spiritual battle behind it. It's where we're losing this war at, because there are kids, this woke bull crap that's going on, this transgender bull crap, this furry bull crap. All these things we're letting these kids get by with because we have no discipline, and we're not standing firm in that battle, and we're surrendering it. I believe I posted it on my Facebook page about a preacher that was preaching on that, about standing up and being men of God and being strong in our faith, and not cater, not surrender, not debating these things, because there are some things that are non-debatable. Sin is still sin, what the Bible calls sin, not what people. A lot of people try to interpret the Bible their own way and call things that aren't sin because they don't like it, and that's their opinion, and there's a lot of that happens.
And the ladies talked about that Sunday Sunday and Wednesday in our Bible study group, about just because somebody is convicted of that doesn't make it right, and if they don't have Scripture to back it up, they don't need to try and force that down your throat.
That's fine. Like Paul said, some people think it's wrong to eat meat.
Right.
Some only worship on a certain day. You've got to work that stuff out. But there are things that are very, very clear cut that God says is sin in His Word.
Right.
But that's that staying alert part. And all these pieces that Kelly, I was on her just a little bit yesterday about what we covered at the end of this. But what we have to understand is, if we get complacent, because when life gets easy, it makes soft people. When our country had to fight and scrap and battle and people was pulling together,
Right.
we was a strong nation. Now everybody thinks they deserve something without working for
Yeah.
it. Kids don't want to show up to practice. They don't want to respect their coaches. They're coddled. They're catered to. There's no discipline. Our schools are in disarray, but not because of the parents or the administrators. It's because of these unruly kids that are not
Right.
ruled and governed by their parents.
Right.
And we've not kept that full armor of God on. Kids are running the household and not mom and
So
dad.
true.
And
So
things
many
like that. And we get mad at the kids, and it's not the kids' fault. They're
not.
just doing what they naturally, their own flesh desire, because they've got to be trained, they've got to be taught, they've got to be disciplined. And it's the same way in our personal life. I've got to keep constantly training myself, training my mind, thinking every thought captive. And you're going to get all these opinions about what people think you ought to do. I have heard, excuse me, in the last, especially 6 months, about people telling me some things that I ought to be doing in my personal life that ain't none of their freaking business, because they don't live in my house, they don't live my personal life, they don't know what I go through on a day-to-day basis. I appreciate their prayers and all of that,
Right.
but a lot of times
Very
we
much so.
get in other people's lane of what's going on instead of staying alert, paying attention to us. And if you really want to change somebody, it's not by going and telling them what they need to do, it's by you living it in front of them.
Right.
And those things like that. And so when we do that, and that's that staying alert and paying attention, first off to her own self, because I can't go put armor on Kelly. I can say, Kelly, hey, if you got this on, remember to do this. I can encourage her to do it.
Right.
I can remind her to do it,
Right.
but I can't do it for her.
That's
Just
exactly
like
right.
me. She can remind me. I can remind my children. I can
Right.
remind my brothers or whatever, but I can't do it. This is a personal deal. That's why you need to be staying alert, making sure you've got the full armor of God, so that after the battle, because we're in one, there are battles coming that
Oh,
people
man.
can't
They're
even fathom. I'm telling you, they're coming. That we need to be preparing for and wake up and be paying alert on the physical front. Yes, those battles are easy to fight and deal
Those
with,
are
but
easy
it's the
to
spirit
see.
because you can see them.
Those are easy to see. Things that are in the physical come at us and we can see it and we can fight it that way. It's the spiritual things that we're not seeing.
That's
It's
right.
the spiritual things. And that I had that conversation with my daughter this week. I said, Kelsey, this isn't about a physical battle. This is about a spiritual battle. And she worked for a company that was very, what the term is, woke. That's ridiculous. No, that's not, and she paid the consequences for that. So, but she's also out of a toxic environment. So I know that the Lord's going to place her in an even better
yeah,
place
it'll
where
be
she
better.
can make a bigger difference.
Right.
But it's just, we can't see those spiritual battles. So we just like to think that we can sit in our spiritual recliner and say, okay, Lord, I know you're going to handle it. Just handle it for me. And we don't have to do anything. And we do. We have a part to play. We have to get up every day. We have to put on our full armor. We have to show our kids how to put their armor on. We have to do those things in order to stand firm after the battle. And that's where we
right.
want to be standing after the battle, is firm. And that may mean coming along and locking our shields with somebody else and fighting that battle together. We don't know what God's going to call us to do, but we need to be obedient to him and listening to him when he does call.
That's right. And when we're alert, we'll hear that. When
That's
we're listening
exactly right.
and taking every thought captive. And again, if you want to change somebody, live it before them. Don't tell
Right.
them. You can talk a little bit, but mostly show them and how you live your life, and don't be hypocritical and judgmental and things. That's what this armor does, to protect. Because that's what Satan cannot come in and divide a church,
No, he can't.
divide a family, do none of that unless we allow him
That's
to.
right.
He has to use us. He has to have a flesh vessel to carry that out. Just like, everybody's, clamoring again on guns control. We're going to take guns off the street. You ain't going to take no guns off the street by taking them out of good people's hands. You
No.
can legislate it, make it hard because criminals don't go to the gun store
No,
and buy
they
guns
don't.
and things like that. And if
No.
they ever make a gun that can load itself, get out of the gun safe, and go shoot people, I'm for banning that gun. And we don't deal with the physical aspect of evil that these evil spirits get into to make somebody want to go kill somebody, rape somebody, molest a kid, and they think by putting them in a jail cell for 6 months and saying don't do that again, they get back out and they recommit the same crime and other things.
Right.
They get worse and worse as they go. Well, why is that? Because you're dealing with the physical aspect of it and not the spiritual aspect of it.
Exactly.
And that's what this armor is for, is the spiritual fight that we're in, so we can stand against the wiles and the schemes. And
Yes.
that after the battle, because we're in them, fight,
We
we're
are
going to
in
be
'em.
standing firm. We don't have to get knocked down, beat down, chewed up, and spit out. We can be standing firm and stay in the fight.
So I hope that helps someone this week. I hope that you understand what the full armor is, and not just portions of it, not just pieces of it. You need to have it all, because those battles are hard. Those
Trying to sneeze or not.
Those battles are hard. They are tough. And sometimes you have to have somebody to battle with you. Sometimes you do need to reach out, and sometimes you need to say, hey, can you lock shields with me because this is coming up against me and I don't know how to do it. Can you help me with it? And that's what we need to be doing for one another. We need to be encouraging one another on. We are not meeting as a church to get people saved. We're meeting to encourage one another to go out
Spur one another
and spread the gospel, so those people can come in and then we can encourage them and we can help them and we can do what we need to do. But we have to help one another instead of tearing one another down with our judgments, with our condemnation, with whatever. I've been honest about having a lot of fear, but then I also had a lot of condemnation come upon me, and I took that and I let it settle in my soul, and I shouldn't have. I should have fought that off with the power that the Lord's given me. But I am learning slowly but surely. Some of us are thick-headed like me. I'm very thick-headed. Don't look at me like that.
I didn't say a word.
Yeah. But so just be strong in him and know that he is fighting that battle with you. He's gone before you. He comes along beside you, and he's always with you through that battle. So I hope everybody has a great week or weekend. We are at Friday, finally, yay, Friday. But for a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's just Friday. I got to go to work tomorrow or the next day or whatever. But
I don't even know what day it is. I'm so confused on the day and the time. I have no clue. I told you the other day it was Tuesday, and it was like Thursday or something of last week. So anyhow, I'm getting get back in the groove. Hey, I want to remind you guys, we still got one more week left to purchase some tickets. We're gonna be drawing that ticket on next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, April 1st. We're having a barbecue dinner. Talked to Zach James today. He's getting us some pork butt. We're going to have pork butt smoked. Jeff's bringing the smoker up here. They're going to start cooking it the night before and slow smoker. We're going to have chicken as well. So we'll have a little barbecue dinner on Saturday night at 5, starting at 5 o'clock, probably to about 6. Then we'll draw off that. You don't have to be present, so those tickets are $5 a piece or 5 for $20. We're raising these funds to support our local area police departments. That'll be Yale, Olton, and Jennings. We're going to divide that up between those PDs. So if you don't want to buy tickets, you're not interested enough, if you want to make a donation to that.
And I've had a couple of people do that. They didn't want a ticket. They didn't want anything. They just wanted to donate to that cause. Yeah,
we appreciate that. So we've got that. And also, if you've got a treadmill sitting around you're not using, there's one of the PDs called today and asking about if we had a treadmill, we could help them. They're going to build a little weight room and exercise room for their officers and stuff in there if they want to come in and work out. So if you've got a treadmill sitting around and you'd like to donate, holler at us.
We'll get it to them.
We'll get it to them on that. But come out if you just want to come out for a good barbecue dinner. Next Saturday night starting at 5. And Marcus Torkinson is going to be with us that Saturday night as well. We're going to pick him up at the my throat's dry. At the airport that morning, and then he's going to just talk just a little bit night during that dinner. Then he'll be with service for us at 9 and 11 on the 2nd of April. So that's exciting. Marcus is a really good dude. Be the first time he's been here. I've talked to him a lot on the phone and texting and via Facebook Messenger. We're excited about what the Lord's doing in his life. So that's coming up next weekend. Now come buy some tickets. Push that for us if you would, because we'd really like to help these local area PDs that are on a very limited budget.
We have plenty of tickets. So.
And get them some equipment. We're going to let them dictate what they'll equip. We're just going to divide it up between them. Say, here, you guys go get you something and what you need, and let their chiefs figure that out.
Right. So thank you all for joining us today. If you will, share on your Facebook page. Come out and join us Sunday, 9 and 11. Hopefully Mike will be back in the pulpit.
Planning on it.
He's already working on his sermon, so I'm looking forward to that, and just want to thank Brother Mark for stepping in.
Yes, thank you, Bishop.
And doing all that he did while Mike was down. I'm so thankful that we have that in our own church to be able to just
Mark
continue on.
Job.
And it's so good to be able to do that. So come out and join us 9 and 11 Sunday. Elders and deacons, we have a meeting. Security team, we have a meeting right after second service. Elders and deacons, we're at 4. And women, we meet at 6 o'clock on Sunday. So hope to see you all on Sunday. Have a great weekend.